Hey, Math 85, we're still working on section 11.1 on rectangular coordinates. Before we move on to some more examples, I'd like to just wrap up the ideas of the coordinate planes. We have these 4 quadrants, and each point in the plane can be described by its x-coordinate, comma, its y-coordinate. So now, each one of these 4 quadrants describes different types of points. All the points in quadrant 1 have a positive x and a positive y. So all the points in quadrant 1 look like positive, positive. How about the points in quadrant 2? They all have a negative x coordinate but a positive y coordinate. So those look like negative, positive. In quadrant 3, to get to points in quadrant 3, you go left, so negative in the x direction, and down, negative in the y direction. So in quadrant 3, those points are described by 2 negative coordinates. And in quadrant 4, those points have a positive x and a negative y, so plus, minus. So this is what all the different points look like in the different quadrants. And then points that actually lie on the axes have their own have their own format. The points that lie on the y-axis all have x coordinate 0. So all of those points look like 0, comma, some number. These are the points that lie on the y-axis. And when you're talking about graphs, those points are called the y-intercepts. All right, and any points that lie on the x-axis, notice that the y-coordinate, their height, either up or down, is at position 0. So all of those points, whatever their x-coordinate is, their y-coordinate will always be 0. So in this way, we can describe all the points in the plane, even the ones that lie on the actual axes. So now let's go ahead and do some examples where we plot some points. Given these coordinate pairs, let's go ahead and find them on... Right, so let's go ahead and plot these points. A has x-coordinate 2, y-coordinate 5. So if you ever get confused about what comes first, it goes in alphabetical order usually. So this is my x-axis, here's my y-axis, 2 units to the right, 1, 2, and then 5 units up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is the point A. Let's find the point B, which is 1, comma 3. 1 unit right, 1, 2, 3 units up. There's B. Point C has coordinates 3, comma 1. So 1, 2, 3 units right, 1 unit up. So notice the similarity between these points. They have the same numbers, just the x and y coordinates are reversed. Now let's find negative 1, comma 3. So starting at the origin, this is 0, 0. Go left 1 unit, up 3 units. So here is D. So again, negative 1, so that's left 1 unit, up 3. Let's find negative 3, comma negative 4. So that would be left and down. So left 1, 2, 3 units, down 1, 2, 3, 4 units. There's the point E. And F is 3, comma 5 halves. So let's just think about that for a moment. This is not an integer, so it won't be, the y-coordinate will not be on one of these grid points. This is 3. Remember 5 halves, that's 2.5 if you want to write it as a mixed number. So that would be 3 units to the right and 2.5 units up. So that's 1, 2, 3 units right, 2.5, so go halfway up. That would be my point F there. So again, notice it's different from the other points because it doesn't actually lie on one of these grid crossings, but you can still find that point in the plane. All right, let's do another example where we plot points that actually lie on the axes. Let's find 0, 4. So the x-coordinate is 0, so that means I don't go any position left or right, and 4 units up. So 1, 2, 3, 4. There's that point right there. That's A. B is at 0, -3. So my x-coordinate is 0. I don't move any units left or right, but I move down 3 units. So 0, 1, 2, 3. There's the point B. At -2, 0, I'll move 2 units to the left, and I'll move no units, 0 units up or down. So that's 2 units to the left and no units up or down. So you stay right there. So that's point C. And now 3/2, 0. So this is another one of those funny points. It's not on one of the grid crossings. 3/2 is the same as like 1.5. So 1.5, 0. So what we'll do is move 1.5 units to the right and then 0 units up or down. So 1.5. So I'll go halfway between 1/2 of the way to the next unit. So 1.5 and 0 units up or down. So there's my point D. All right, let's do one more example. Suppose I'm actually given a bunch of points in the plane and I want to name their location. And here I'll say that, you know, just like before, every tick mark represents 1 unit. If you like, pause the video now and write down your answers, and then stop a bit or play the video again and see if you got them correct. Let's start with A. In this location, find the x-coordinate. The x-coordinate is 1, 2, 3. And the y-coordinate is also 3. So A has the coordinates 3, 3. Let's find the coordinates for B. So here's B. Its x-coordinate is its location along the x-axis. So it's 1 unit to the right. And its y-coordinate is how many units up or down it is from the x-axis. It's 1 unit down. Okay, and maybe I didn't do this before, but we should do it now. The horizontal axis is usually the x-axis, vertical axis is the y-axis. So don't forget, this is x, this is y, and when we write down our coordinate pairs, it'll always be in alphabetical order, x, y. All right, let's move on to C. Here is C, and it's one of those funny points. It's not on one of the grid crossings. So let's see if I can first locate its x-coordinate. It is 2 units to the right of the origin. So the x-coordinate is 2. How many units up did it go? It's not located a whole unit up. It's really just halfway there. So I'd say that the y-coordinate looks like a half, approximately a half. So 2, 1/2. Let's find D. Here's D lying on the y-axis. So first, its x-coordinate, I'm not moving any direction in the left-right direction. You're staying in the center here. So the x-coordinate is 0. Y-coordinate is 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 units up. Here's the point E. First, I'll start by locating the x-coordinate. From center, I'm moving 1, 2, 3, 4 units to the left. So I'm at -4 there. And 1, 2, 3, 4 units up. So +4 is my y-axis. Let's find F. Notice F lies on the x-axis. So in order to get to position F from the origin, I'll move 2 units to the left. So that's -2. And 0 units up or down because I'm already there. So -2, 0. And finally, G. G is in an interesting location too. Let's first locate the x-coordinate, and then we'll find the y-coordinate. So the x-coordinate is 1 and not 2, halfway in between negative 1 and 2. I would call that negative 1.5. So negative 1.5 in the x direction. And now let's count how many units in the y direction. And it's going down, so it'll be negative. I'll just write that there so I don't forget. 1, 2, 3. 3 and halfway. So I would say that's negative 3.5. And if you like, you can either use, because generally mixed numbers are not very useful when we're doing algebra. So you can either use improper fractions, which would be negative 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1 is 3, 3 halves, and 6, 7, negative 7 halves. Or sometimes decimals could be useful as well. So negative 1.5 would be negative 1.5. And negative 3.5 would be negative 3.5. So really, either one of these would be more useful than that mixed number version. All right, so go ahead and try the problems in this section. Again, what you're going to be asked to do is, given coordinate pairs, plot them in the plane, and also given some points that are plotted, name the coordinate pairs.